Cereal. All right. It's been so long, I don't even remember, like, where am I looking?
Why are we so late? We were doing this like once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, so I don't know if we even do that because we're putting one out. One's getting released, but I guess we'll do it anyway and see if it works. But yeah, so I had been gone. I took a vacation back home to Columbus, Ohio, and we were out for a week, and then we kind of got off schedule, and it like... The process of making these videos is kind of like a boulder rolling. Like, it takes a while to get it going, but once it's going fluently. But if it stops, you got to full-on Resident Evil 5 punch it to get it
momentum back
going again. So we've been mashing the A button, trying to get back on schedule, and now we're here. Sort of, because you probably already seen one by now. But here's the explanation as to why you saw that one and you're currently maybe seeing this one. If the content's good. So, hey, Magic. Today, we got a brand new cereal, another hot take. We got Toy Story 4. The flavor is carnival berry. I don't know what that means.
Really?
Okay, I see there's like sprinkles or something on there. I don't know if that's like hard candy or if that's something I'm going to feel or taste in the texture. But then I saw that it's carnival berry. And I don't know if that's on the sprinkles or if that's in the cereal pieces itself. Like, the pieces are basically just like round cereal pieces with like candy dots on them. And like, I don't know where the flavor's coming from on these. Like, I don't know if the predominant flavor for these is going to be on the cereal, like the cereal O's, or the candy dots. So that's where a lot of my intrigue comes from with this cereal.
I have a video game problem where whenever I see a licensed product, I'd like recoil. I'm like, oh, it's probably not going to be good. Like Toy Story 4, that's fucking specific.
Yeah, and see, as a cereal man, I understand where you're coming from, but I have to go in because not just because of this channel, because I feel like the people need to see it, but I have to go in because I've actually had experiences with licensed cereals that were fantastic. We talked about Rainbow Bright. Nintendo Power was one of my all-time favorite cereals growing up, just with the split packages with Mario cereal and Zelda cereal. They both tasted the same, but they were split, and that was freaking cool. In recent years, they had a cereal for the Minions movie that was fantastic.
Like the cereal was good?
Oh, it was so good. It was basically like... It was like Cinnamon Toast Crunch with the same consistency and everything. It was made out of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch factory, but then it had a strawberry banana flavor to it. Oh, so good. I want some right now. But so you got to go in sometimes. Like sometimes you get something really good, sometimes you get something really bad, but
I don't think it's
always worth your time. Like, it's always worth your time. Even if you don't like the franchise it's coming from. Like, I wasn't a Rainbow Bright fan. I didn't like the cartoon, but that cereal was good as hell.
It's like NES era licensing where you can get DuckTales. You know, it could be one of the greatest games ever made for the Nintendo. Or you could get Back to the Future or Top Gun or something. But there's a chance.
Why are we getting a cereal for Toy Story 4? Did we get a cereal for Toy Stories 1 through 3?
That's the thing that has me grossed out, for lack of a better word.
Can we look that up?
Like, they could have called it Toy Story cereal.
Let's look that up. I want to look that up because I don't want to make nasty assumptions. This is by Kellogg's, by the way. I didn't say that yet. But if they made cereals for 1 through 3, I want to know if Kellogg's had the branding for that. Like, did it get switched off, or did we ever have a cereal for 1 through 3? I'm telling you right now, if there was never any other cereal for Toy Story until 4 came out, I have a lot of assumptions about this movie and the cereal. I still haven't seen this movie, and I'm a Toy Story fan, but I just wasn't like, it didn't put any battery in my back to run to the theaters. Like, when it comes out on video or on Netflix or something, I'll go check it out. But I had no desire to go see this in theaters.
There was a Toy Story 3 cereal. There was no Toy Story 1 or 2 cereal. That makes me...
What does that say to you?
Well, when I see it, it's for, like, just call it Toy Story cereal, and then on the cereal, if you need to promote the movie, that's fine. but somewhere on the side be like, oh, by the way, if you like Toy Story, there's a new Toy Story. But calling it Toy Story 4
Toy Story
cereal,
3 cereal,
putting
Toy
the
Story 4 cereal, that's worrisome.
That's very worrisome.
Because now it feels like you're hoeing out your product, and it immediately makes me feel like you didn't put much work into this.
Yeah.
So this, to me, seems like a complete hoe out. Like, I feel like this is just... And to be fair, Toy Story has made a niche for itself where it's like the marketing goes hand in hand with the art, because they're telling you a story about toys that are purchasable. Like, from the beginning, marketing was built into this franchise. Like, that's part of the genius of it. It's like, we're going to tell you a story about toys, and then, by the way, we'll sell you the toys.
But this isn't Chronicles of Riddick 3. Like, to your point, this is Toy Story. Like, if you say Toy Story, people are like, oh, I know the franchise you're referring to. That's 4 storied films. Right. You don't need to call it Toy Story 4. If you just said Toy Story...
You could have just called it Toy Story 4. But I guess you got to say 4 if you want to incorporate, like, these new characters, like Sporkman or whoever he is, or Jordan Peele and Michael Keegan, or if you want to put them on the box, you got to like specify, right? That makes me mad too. Yeah. Like, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I don't know why we're just getting force-fed these new characters. Like, they're starting to get kind of the Batman complex. Yeah. Where, like, every time they come out, they feel like they got to give you more new characters. Yeah. And more new characters. Like, I feel like with Toy Story, and this is kind of like off serial, but I feel like with Toy Story, you could just give us new settings. We don't need new characters every time. Or at least not so many.
Batman's a good comparison to what I was... To bring it back to serial, like... What Batman cereal? I don't know if that's a thing, but it should be a thing. But like, what if they came out with Batman Begins cereal?
So try saying some stuff about it.
In a world where cereals are way too entertaining, comes the hero that you don't deserve but you need.
That's the wrong movie. That's Dark Knight.
Oh yeah.
The hero who isn't fully trained yet.
Oh, here we go.
The cereal.
I got it. Cereal, settle down. You're doing too much. Batman Begins, a new dawn of breakfast oats. Featuring
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson has raisins in a bowl.
Or Batman the Dark Knight cereal.
I feel like that might have happened. I know there was a Batman cereal and it was pretty bad, and I love me some Batman. Like, let's not even get started down that road. But I feel like it was pretty bad, but I feel like that happened. Like, we got a Batman Begins cereal or a Batman Return cereal or something like that without checking it. But I don't know. So as far as the cereal goes, if I was to make a prediction, I feel like these cereal pieces are kind of like Apple Jacks in texture, if that makes any sense. But I'm going to go real cereal nerd on you here. I'm not only going to say Apple Jacks, but I'm going to say 90s Apple Jacks.
That's specific as hell.
So the difference between 90s Apple Jacks and current Apple Jacks, first of all, let me say they're both delicious. I love Apple Jacks, but there's a slight difference between, God, I feel ashamed of myself saying this and knowing this, but there's a slight difference between the cereal pieces in 90s Apple Jacks versus today's Apple Jacks. In the 90s and late 80s Apple Jacks, the O's were like fat tires. So they were wider. Now they're basically like the same shape as Fruit Loops, just different colors and with the little red specklets on them or whatever. But back then, the O's were like fatter. And I'm looking at the box here and I'm seeing some fatter O's on here. So if they have the texture of like 90s Apple Jacks and they have some of the O's that are a little bit fatter, I'm going to be happy about that because I kind of miss that texture.
Is that what makes you think of Apple Jacks though? Is just like the sprinkles or the little candy gems?
I wasn't even thinking about the little sprinkles on there. I was just thinking about like the fatness of the O's. Okay. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. But if combined with the sprinkles on the fatness of the O's, if that's what's actually in this box, I'm excited because having a mixture of fat O's and skinny O's in a bowl was a treat for me. There's not really a whole lot going on in this box marketing. Like, if I was to judge this when it comes to marketing, honestly, it's not going to score that high. Yeah. I feel like this is lazy. Like, you just... And then you try to give me two covers. Like, are you a Woody fan or are you a Buzz fan?
Reversible.
Yeah, but even that's lazy. You know why? Because you went full Woody here, you went Woody colors here, and you went Woody colors here, but then you went Buzz scheme over here. And you could have gave me a buzz panel over here. Give me a buzz panel over here. Like you went, you know what side is the front. Don't try to act like this is another front. This is the front because this is where you gave all the attention to. Don't do that. Like, my kids ain't stupid. They notice the front. This is the front. Like, even the bottom is red. And then all of a sudden you're like, but it's 2 covers in case you're a Buzz fan. Like, if I'm a Buzz fan, I got to go up to Kellogg's and I got to punch somebody in the face because I feel like me and my team got disrespected. I dropped the ball. I didn't bring milk today. And my wife is going to get milk, so we're waiting on a milk delivery. But in the meantime, we can't try to
because then we can split it up. And...
Oh. So right away, fam, y'all dead ass lied on y'all's box. They lied on the box. So hold on, let me get the camera. Killer, y'all are scandalous over there. Like, what is the matter with y'all, man? Okay, I gotta gather myself. On the box, you see, remember I was telling y'all about like the fat tire O's and robust O's and sprinkles and all that. This is what you expect. But look at what you get. There's like...
extremely weak compared to what's on the box.
Fam, there's little to no sprinkles on these O's at all, for one. There are no fat tires. These are more like Cheerio size, if anything. They lied to me about shape. They lied to me about these dots. They're not as prominent as they appear to be on this box.
It's like McDonald's commercial versus the actual McDonald's.
For sure.
That is as close as I've seen.
For sure. Like, so let me tell you something. I got complex feels about that, right? So immediately when I pulled these out and I saw that they weren't what they're showing on the box, I'm laughing because y'all ought to be ashamed of yourselves for lying. But as a cereal eater, I'm more confident.
Oh, interesting.
Because, like, I don't want a bunch of candy rocks getting stuck in my teeth. So that might be for the greater good of the cereal. Like, this cereal might taste better because of what they did and how they lied.
They would have to lie to get your attention on it, though, right?
Yeah,
just took a picture of that.
Yeah, you're right. Because if they put that on the box, this cereal would look boring.
Yeah.
Like, marketing, I'll probably say like a 2 or a 3. Because they lied, the box is stupid, but once I get down in the bag, it gains a couple points back because I ain't gonna lie, this looks like an appetizing cereal.
Very good.
Like, I want to eat this. I'm excited to eat this. I haven't eaten this morning.
Oh, nice.
So Kellogg's might get a couple extra points just because I'm hungry and I'm about to be like, oh God, this is so good. But really, it's just okay. So, interesting. They smell good. It's not like a super overwhelming smell. Like, I didn't open it and it was already coming to me. Like, if I stick my nose in there real good, I smell like a berry fruity sensation. So nothing too crazy. They look kind of good. Decent texture, decent color. Like, even though they lied on the box, I'm kind of excited about the sprinklets. I'm going to dry test these, man. I'm going to put a good 4 or 5 in my mouth. Right away, really bright.
Bright?
Really bright.
Were you expecting a bright flavor? Because I wasn't.
No, not based on the smell, because the smell wasn't very strong.
Those look like they look like a more like savory cereal, like corn pops or something.
Yeah, but you know what's wild? Like, it starts off really bright and then it immediately like tapers off, which I like. I don't want it to stay bright the entire time. Sure. Like, I like that it's tapered off a little bit and it's not going too crazy yet. Maybe because I'm hungry. Whoa! No, I like these.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to pass on the production. Those are pretty good. They got like flavor that keeps your attention. They're bright, but not too bright, and they don't linger. Like, the flavor doesn't linger too long. It's like a hit and it gets out the way.
It's interesting. So when you say bright, I know exactly what you mean now. We've done enough of these videos. And
you know what a bright flavor, because bright is not fruity.
No, it's
not the same.
To describe a very specific thing, and if you've had the cereals he's talking about, you'll know what he means too.
Troll cereal, very bright and stays bright. What else?
Actually, I'm curious what that is. I wonder if we can figure out like what's the common ingredient.
Man, I'm gonna laugh so hard if there's like a medical if one of the ingredients in the back is like carbon mybenzate, and that's what creates bright flavor. Yeah. I feel like these would have really good synergy and versatility. Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm just going off just the dry test so far, and if they perform well in milk, these would score high, man, because they're bright, so it's a good flavor, but the brightness isn't so strong that it's just like, oh, I'm gonna have a stomach ache halfway through this bowl. I don't feel like that. And if my palate serves me correctly, when I'm crunching these, I feel like these are going to perform well in milk. I'm excited to try these in milk. I can't yet because milk's not here. So I don't know if we're going to edit this out or we're going to do like a time-lapse thing. Oh, you know what I want to say, though? So there's a collection of cereals, and it's usually like licensed cereals that I call Destined for Odd Lot cereals. Like if you ever go to Big Lots or Odd Lots,
explain what is Odd Lots.
Okay, so Big Lots, which was formerly Odd Lots, it's a store that gets. It's funny to say this. It gets discontinued. What's the word? Bobo items or items that are like. There's a word I'm looking for.
Not left.
Irregular.
Okay,
irregular items. So, like, it might not be something that might not be a big deal to the consumer. Like, maybe Pop-Tarts put out a wild berry Pop-Tart, but the frosting wasn't uniform. And usually there's more frosting, but there's like 12% less frosting on these, and people complain, so then they sent them to Big Lots and sold them for $1.50.
Most people are fine.
There's really nothing wrong with it, and some people like it, but it doesn't fit maybe the standards of the company. Big Lots gets that, and then they get like furniture. So if you're ever looking for like honey roasted sunflower seeds in an ottoman, this is where you want to be. Like, if you need...
That's the perfect description.
If you need...
I'm not that hungry, but I want to have some flavor in my mouth, and I need to put my feet up.
Fam, if you need flaming hot cheese poofs and $5 Bluetooth headphones, this is where you want to go, right? If you don't want to spend over $25 on a Bluetooth speaker and you need specifically green gluten-free pasta, this is where you want to go. It's one of those kind of stores.
You don't know that that's what you want until you get there. You don't set out to buy those two things.
Fam,
I do need.
I have never in my life, never. I don't think, I'm going to say I don't think, because I don't like to lie to y'all. I don't think I've ever gone into Big Lots looking for something. I've always been like,
I've got $20.
I got $20 in 30 minutes. Let's run into Big Lots. I didn't know that I needed iced animal crackers till I bought them there. And that's another product that me and my wife cry about sometimes because it's gone forever.
Like the cereal might be soon.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that I don't really like this in milk that much because it's already not on shelves anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we've been sitting on this box for a while.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of backed up in our reviews and it took us a while to get around to this one, which is why, like, you're seeing this and Toy Story 4 is basically about to be out on video. We are horrible.
Not already on video.
This is why we're not up to, like, 25,000 subscribers because we're late on it. This is potentially the only box that I'll ever...
It's already gone from the store.
It's
you
already,
can't even, like, stock up.
It's already gone. we're gonna do milk, right?
Milk time. It's
But we're
milk
gonna
time.
pour it. We're gonna pour
No
it.
time has passed. This is
No time
immediately
elapsed
after the
here.
last cut.
No time elapsed here.
Same day.
A little peek behind the curtain. If we were filming this outside, it would be like daytime, and then it would cut, and it would be dusk right now. There's a funny story that you guys will never hear about what happened with getting the milk here, but the milk's here.
Hey.
The milk's here. We got milk. I don't know, man. It looks kind of cartoonish in there. Like it's like a Simpsons yellow. It's like radioactive yellow.
I was thinking that earlier when you were describing the cereal in the first place. That you were saying this looks appetizing. I'm like, it kind of
You're like, does it?
plain though. Like,
yeah, but I like a plain looking cereal sometimes, man. It's not doing too much.
It doesn't look like it has the bright flavor that it has. Like that's kind of
Yeah, it's a deceptively bright flavor. So, you know. That's reasonable. It's not the worst looking thing in milk. We've seen worse.
We've seen some pretty bad.
We've seen some atrocities.
Dog food and milk.
In them. Oh, God. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get it again? If you could.
It's
If Toy Story 4 didn't leave theaters years ago now.
This is a mistake because I like this. I could eat this whole bowl. I'm actually going to eat a little bit more because I'm hungry. The texture is like in between Apple Jacks and Cheerios, right in between there. So it's a good texture. The flavor is bright, but it's not overpowering. This will score really high.
Yeah, really?
That will score really high. Like I can and probably will eat that whole bowl.
Box.
Yeah. What's our range in?
Well, I'm just curious. Like, so, like flagship, without looking at any specific subcategories, like, was it Fruity Pebbles was an 89, and I want to say French Toast Crunch was like a 67 or something like that.
This would score higher than French Toast Crunch, I think.
Okay, all right.
A little bit lower than Fruity Pebbles. I would say high 70s, low 80s.
Oh wow, that's
some good shit.
Have you had anything like it before?
No, because it's a cross between a bunch of things that I have had before, like flavored fruity Cheerios I've had before. It has some resemblances of that flavor. Apple Jacks, a little hint of what I was saying with the Minion cereal. Like, it's a combination of a bunch of things I've had before, and it blends all that up really well.
Yeah.
And it's not overpowering. I don't feel like I'm going to get a stomachache halfway through that bowl, which it seems like that is a reoccurring theme with hot takes. Like, a lot of these fad cereals and hypebeast cereals is like, this is fun and this is a novelty, but don't eat that for breakfast. Like, yeah. But this is like, I want to eat this for breakfast. Like, I think I could see myself finishing this box.
That's unfortunate. I feel like of all of the cereals you've had, except for maybe the Sour Patch Kids cereal, this seems the most likely to be ephemeral. Like, this is gone. If it's still at Smith's, I'd be shocked.
This is gone. I'm sad too, man, because I would rebuy this.
Yeah.
I would finish this box. I would buy this again. But Toy Story 4 is just about out of theaters as we're recording this. So they're definitely not pushing the cereal anymore. So it's probably at Big Lots by now.
Well, we can maybe make a run to Big Lots and see if you can get it.
That might be the move.
Batman Returns cereal. You called it. It was absolutely the thing. Batman Returns, and we'll put the image on. He's looking at me with it on the phone right now, but it'll be on the screen.
Yeah, put that up here.
There, yeah. So Batman Returns cereal, free Batman Returns double vision imager. Collect all 3. And it looked like it was like Chex Mix, but with little Batman marshmallows.
So, okay. So I feel like I had that before now that I'm looking at it closer. And it was kind of like along the lines of Ninja Turtle cereal, which was basically Chex with marshmallows, if I got that right. But I want to try that now because those little Chex looking pieces look like they have some flavor to them.
Yeah. Chocolate. Oh, well, you don't like chocolate cereal.
But it looks like light chocolate. So
sure.
I'm not a big fan of chocolate cereal, but I will eat it and I will try it. I look forward to reviewing some chocolate cereals on here going forward, but we got to space them because we can't do like Cocoa Puffs and then the very next one do chocolate Fruity Pebbles, and then like you got to space those out because chocolate is chocolate most of the time.
Well, there's a trend right now with these fucking peanut butter cereals. And it's just like you need to have like 5 or more cereals in between trying any of those.
Normally I wouldn't talk about stuff like this on the channel, but because y'all are never getting this review, I'm just going to talk about it. They got chocolate peanut butter pops now. I'm never reviewing that. Like, don't look for Katt'N Crunch. Don't type that into your search bar because you're never going to find that.
You're lucky you got peanut butter pebbles.
You're never getting that. You never get pops in chocolate and peanut butter.
They're just trying to apply it to everything in the aisle.
Yeah, like why didn't y'all do chocolate pops before y'all went chocolate peanut butter? That's not what we're talking about today. Toy Story cereal. I'm gonna try these.